Bill Clinton is dishonest. He's a dishonest man because he's a charmer. And there are easy ways, and these are the easy ways to charm anyone. Follow Bill Clinton's lead, first of all. He is dishonest, or has been at least. Back in 1998, when the scandal broke with regard to Monica Lewinsky, the young intern in the White House and the president at that time of the United States of America, having an affair with her, he said, I did not sleep. I was not having an affair with this intern, Monica Lewinsky. But in fact, the reality was he was having an affair. But people actually felt that he was more charming because of this illicit affair. His ratings went up. 73% of people felt that he was more likable because it wasn't that he was actually doing the wrong thing. It was that he was seen as more human. He was way up there, way up high, the President of the United States, the leader of the free world, if you will. This attractive middle-aged man who was still fit and had finally fettled and had all this popularity. Remember, the internet was just kicking off, so it wasn't as if social media and people had many followers online. When you were the president, you were the man, you were the person, and you were the go-to person. There was no huge competition. You had daily papers, newspapers, you had radio, a few television channels, but you didn't have this explosion of the internet that we have right now, and no social media. So this guy was really looked up to. If there was anything, any headline in the paper, or there was anything on the radio or television, the leader of the free world had to be forgiven. Why? Because he was our leader. He had to lead us. So he was forgiven for what people felt essentially was, well, something that can actually happen quite easily and naturally. And it did. So his dishonesty made his ratings go up. But also his honesty, Bill Clinton's honesty, and this is the second point, his honesty and your honesty can actually charm anyone. So being honest can actually overall charm anyone. Bill Clinton, many years later, then announced that when he reflected on what happened in the late 90s, of his dishonesty of what actually occurred, and admitted the fact that he had that affair in the White House, he said that the reason why he did it was because he had anxieties. He had underlying anxieties going on. And this is hugely honest, this is hugely open, this is showing that the person can be vulnerable. And it makes sense, it's truthful. And again, both these things, the dishonesty and the honesty, are showing one thing commonly to a person, that you're communicating about yourself. And that's really, really important. To be able to communicate about yourself and to show exactly your feelings are charming. And you can charm anybody with that. By opening up, by telling a person how you feel. It's really, really important because it makes that other person feel as if they too should give this back to you, that they too should communicate this in a like-minded fashion back to you. It's human nature to want to connect. It's also human nature to have this common ground. So being able to replicate this energy and replicate this communication is hugely important. That's why you often feel that maybe as a man, if you are a man that is, that women, females, are far more open about their feelings. And that it's more difficult as a man to do that, and there's male pride, there's all these different things going on as a guy. But this is why men admire this in women. But as a man, if you come out there with actually being honest or dishonest, but actually telling your feelings, telling what irks you, telling what really irritates you, you'll actually get a beneficial charm out of it. Another way of charming somebody and charming anybody is actually noticing when they have changed something. Now, many people make this mistake where they actually avoid noticing when somebody has so obviously changed something. A really good example is when lockdown happened with the COVID-19 coronavirus, and everybody in the whole world, or in the Western world anyway, had to stay at home. And with that, after a couple of weeks and months, people had to realise that their hair was not actually going to, be cut or to be styled. And so people were literally hiding away when they actually were given freedom to exit lockdown, to be able to go out and about. They were hiding away because their hair was not in a good space. It was actually not tidy, or it wasn't coloured or whatever. So with this in mind, people needed to actually go and see a hairdresser before they could go and actually see their friends. So it's a weird one, because for so long people were hidden away, and psychologically they wanted to actually see others, but then when they couldn't see them, they had to present themselves enough by getting their hair done to see people, to charm them. This is the thing. People want to charm somebody. They want to show that they are actually, presenting themselves in the best way possible. And if you recognize that, you are actually charming them back. They don't realize, they're not going to come in and say, hey, have you seen my new hairstyle? Isn't it cool? What do you think of it? Well, you give me a compliment, please? This isn't human nature. This isn't the way things are done. People just go, get their hair cut or get their hair dressed, and then this should talk the way it talks to you. The other person should actually notice it and say, hey, I noticed that. That's a really nice hairstyle. Now again, if you said this in lockdown or coming out of lockdown to other people, it's not going to be as effective, because other people are going to notice the very obvious thing, which is after a couple of months of lockdown, you're going to really have your hair dressed or styled or cut. So it's natural for a lot of people to say it. What you want to say is say something charming, in that not other people, or not many other people, are saying what you're saying. So you want to notice things that are ordinarily not noticed by others. Another way of looking at that is how, say for example, a female wears her makeup. If she's wearing it a certain way, it actually makes a lot of effort from her side to put the makeup on in that way. And if you consider it, a hairdresser has a lot of skills, and they're using these skills, and these take years to hone and to perfect. And a makeup artist is the same way. But if you, as a female, are at home and try to put on makeup, you want to be recognized for that fact. You are learning new skills and putting in time and effort. So if a male or another female compliments you, it is a charm offense from their point of view. They are actually noticing something very subtle in your face, or in your entire, just physicality of your face, that is different, and it's going to give a person a lift. Complimenting their style and not their fashion is really important. There's a difference between style and fashion. Being charming means that you're actually looking at what they wear and how they wear it for themselves. Being able to compliment a person just on their physical, what they're wearing as such, means that you are saying this suits you and your choice suits you. You're vindicating their choice and their bravery or courage even to go out in the open world and have something that is brand new, or something that they are trying as a way of style, maybe to enter into the fashion market with this, but in effect it's just something that you need to compliment, you need to just notice. So these last couple ones are all about noticing somebody, and this really takes awareness. It takes awareness that you have to be aware of being on front foot with your charm, but at the same time not being sleazy. It's more about being aware of the other person and having that in your back pocket, the charm offensive in your back pocket. Again, if a person really gets over charmed, they're not going to like it as much. They just want this natural feeling of, hey, by the way, I like that makeup on you. This is more a natural way of actually saying it, and just a, by the way, it is a fact. Tell them you need their advice. People want to help other people. People want actually to give information. If you think of social media, a lot of what's happening on social media is the ability to like what somebody is saying or posting, or their content that they're producing, but also that they are willing to share that information to others, to their own friends, to their own followers, and so on. It's the same way in real life. This whole social media is trying to replicate what's going on in an online world and what should happen in a charming way in a real world fashion. So if you actually just ask them for advice, they are then going to share with you their advice, and then you can say, that's good advice, thank you. And that's, in a sense, liking what they are saying. Agree with them. By agreeing with the person, you're mirroring exactly what they are feeling, and this is clinical, absolutely clinical towards making a charming impact on somebody. But agreeing with somebody has to be very genuine. It's really important to be so genuine, because if people just are in a leadership role, or if they're a parent, or if they're a partner, and you disagree with them all the time, say, yes dear, yes that's so important, that's really good, you're intelligent, you're smart. They notice this, people notice this straight away. This is totally just derogatory to their needs. By affirming what somebody is thinking, it builds a closeness momentarily, and then that person might actually open up with regard to why they made a decision, why they actually decided to have this train of thought, and you might actually be able to interject or to be able to roll in with your own thoughts, so that they can actually open up a little bit more, and then this whole charm is working a little bit better. So I hope that you realise that these are the things that will make you charm with anyone. I've asked others to see what they think of charm, and this is what they think. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you have, please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much already if you have. Until next time, have a wonderful day.